C.O.P.S, Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime in a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang of crooks. It's crime-fighting time. The case of the Iceberg Pirates. C.O.P.S File 13131. It all started when Empire City was struck with a terrible heat wave.
Ice cream! Cold, cold ice! Okay, one popsicle coming up. Here, it's a cold one.
It looked like there was no relief in sight. The city's water supply was dangerously low. If something wasn't done soon, the city would be in big trouble, and the big boss knew it. Here's how the caper came down.
Miss Horton, take a memo. Until further notice, all citizens will be on a strict water ration. Anyone caught using more than 2 cups a day will be subject to a large fine.
Inspector Yukon, Canadian Mounties. Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh, no, Inspector Yukon. What can I do for you?
Actually, it's the other way around.
Huh?
The Canadian government is offering assistance to Empire City during this heat wave.
What kind of assistance?
I have been authorized to transport an iceberg to Empire City to replenish your depleted water reserves.
Oh, thank you, Yukon. Oh, and thank you, Canada. We're saved.
So, our good friends to the north are trying to bail out Empire City, huh? Now, nobody pulls the wool over my eyes, especially in this heat.
What have you got in mind, big boss?
McBoom-Boom, intercept that iceberg and bring it to me. I should be able to turn that block of ice into a chunk of cold, hard cash.
Cool!
Now, McBoom-Boom, take Ms. Demeanor and crush her along for the ride. It's too hot to pull a caper here anyway.
This could be the biggest thing to happen to an iceberg since the sinking of the Titanic.
Cool!
Well, on second thought, maybe I should go along to supervise the operation. Yeah. Besides, why should I sit around in all this heat? Squeaky, break out the mini-sub. We're off to rob and plunder on the high seas.
Mayor Davis has requested that C.O.P.S assist in the transport of the iceberg.
Must be darned important to call in C.O.P.S so we can wet nurse a seasick Mountie and his iceberg.
I think this whole thing will be more trouble than it's worth.
When we get that iceberg back and melt it down, it'll fill the city's reservoir and save a lot of lives.
Barricade's right. And besides, can you think of a better way to beat the heat than escorting an iceberg?
Speaking of icebergs, I think this is where we get off.
Easy does it. Just a few more feet. Whoa! Sure hope you know how to swim.
I never learned. I prefer the feel of something solid under my feet. You know what I mean?
Never too old to learn. knowing how to swim might come in handy someday.
Yeah, well, when this is all over, maybe you can teach me. The name's Sundown.
I'm Inspector Yukon. Glad to meet you. Now, let's get the rest of your team on board.
Hey, Buttons, got any idea why Mr. Meaner's giving us the cold shoulder?
The way I see it, the only kind of ice misdemeanor likes got 14 carats attached.
Hey, I never knew you could grow a carrot on an iceberg.
The cold must be affecting his brain. What? You never heard of iceberg lettuce?
Yeah. I guess they do grow stuff on an iceberg.
Not to change the subject, but what exactly is this thing?
It's a water cannon. It sprays a high-pressure stream of hot water. We use it to soften ice in case we ever get trapped in an ice floe.
So, it's just an oversized squirt gun.
I never thought of it that way, but I guess you're right.
Trouble at 4 o'clock low. Misdemeanor in a Crook's jet speeder.
Yeah, looks like someone's trying to cut us loose from that iceberg.
I'm not much with opening lines, but this ought to break the ice.
Misdemeanor's jet speeder can't do much damage without that machine gun.
Gotta figure another way to snap that tow line.
You can say that again.
We can't let them get their hands on that iceberg.
And we're just like sitting ducks out here.
2 more Crook's jet speeders. You know, this could snowball into something big.
Attention, cops. Cut that iceberg loose, or else.
Or else what, Buttons?
Or else you could be swimming back to Empire City.
Well, looks like we arrived just in the nick of time, eh, Squeaky? Ready the corkscrew torpedo, and full speed ahead.
Aye, aye, sir.
I better switch to telephoto to lock onto target. Position, mark. Hurry up with that corkscrew torpedo. Those cops will be so busy bailing water just to keep their tug afloat, I'll be able to waltz off with that iceberg.
Crusher, we'll try to cut the tow line with machine gun fire.
Cool. But that's impossible, Buttons.
You got a better idea, brain boy?
Time to throw a little water on those hot hands.
Those numbskulls! It's a good thing I decided to come along. Finally, the corkscrew torpedo's ready to fire.
You wash those crooks up real fine, Yukon.
Thanks, Sundown.
Yeah, don't think I could have done better myself.
With those crooks out of the way, I think we can relax for the rest of the trip.
Locked on target. Fire one.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Torpedo dead ahead. It's moving too fast.
Hit the deck.
Gee, I guess that corkscrew torpedo made a bigger hole than I thought it would.
Sundown, grab onto the mule.
This tank's going down. Bring out the lifeboats.
It's sinking! It's sinking!
Sundown. Whoa! Man overboard. We've lost Sundown.
And he can't swim. There he is! There's Sundown! You'll be getting those swimming lessons sooner than you thought, Sundown.
I hereby claim this iceberg for Big Boss.
Ahoy, mates! Somebody mention my name? Ah, just happened to be out for a little pleasure cruise, yeah. Thought you could use some help.
Cool.
Tell me, how do you plan on towing this berg to the hiding place?
Well, don't stand there like a chip off the old iceberg, Squeaky. Toss him that line.
Now what?
Tie your end of the line to the mooring post.
Is there room in the sub for us, Big Boss? We're freezing out here.
Oh, there's room, yeah. But you're not coming aboard. Not just yet.
Why not? We did our part.
We got you the iceberg. Isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's right. I got the iceberg. But what about the cops?
We haven't seen any cops since we got on this oversized ice cube.
Well, I'm not convinced. Say, I've got a wonderful idea. Why don't you check out my iceberg? And when you're sure the cops are not around, well, then you can come on board.
Do we have a choice?
I'm afraid not. Unless you're considering mutiny, now start looking for those cops. The sooner you find them, the sooner you can come on board and get warm.
Maybe we could find some iceberg lettuce while we're looking for the cops. And some cold cuts. Boy, I'm starved.
Iceberg lettuce?
Now I'm sure the cold's affected his brain.
Squeaky! Squeaky! I'm stuck! Squeaky! What's taking so long?
Still no sign of Sundown.
Or Yukon.
You looking for someone? Yukon pulled me out of the drink.
But the current carried us a bit farther than I thought.
Well, now that we're all together, what's our next step?
I say we get this iceberg back on track. Big Boss is not gonna win this one.
If it is Big Boss, he's bound to send out a search party to track us down.
Then we haven't got much time.
Once we get to the top of this berg, we'll be able to see the entire layout.
And my bet is that the cops never made it to this chunk of frozen flotsam.
Flotsam, eh? And all this time I thought icebergs were made out of ice.
You know, sometimes he almost makes sense.
I know. I think this deep freeze is starting to affect me, too.
Do we have to climb all the way to the top?
It's the only way to see everything.
I got an idea.
Wait, Crusher! No!
Avalanche! Look out! Below!
Oh, no!
Sounds like an avalanche.
It's gotta be the crooks.
We better stop them before they destroy this entire iceberg.
Oh, I've got to stop those idiots before they destroy the entire iceberg. Take the dinghy and fetch those 3 frost-bitten felons. And watch out for the cops.
Oh, I think maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
I think you're right. And as for the cops, I guess Big Boss changed his mind.
The big boss never changes his mind.
Then you explain why Squeaky's heading our way in a rowboat. In a few minutes, we'll be cozy and warm inside that sub, having a bite to eat.
Oh, I could sure go for a submarine sandwich.
At least we won't stay out here and...
Freeze! We're cops and you're under arrest!
He's gotta be kidding. I already froze a couple hours ago.
Ah!
It's crime-fighting time!
Maybe I can still fly this thing. Adios, cops! Whoa! Huh? Why, you!
Weather forecast for today, snow. Lots of snow.
Time to freeze that crook right in his tracks.
Oh, no!
Oh, Squeaky, cast off that iceberg. I've had enough pirating for one day.
If they snap that tow line, how will we ever get back to Empire City?
Don't worry, I've got a plan.
Squeaky! Help! I'm stuck again! What are you doing, Squeaky? Don't pull! Push! Yay! Polar bear! Where are you going? Squeaky! Come back! Come back! Ah! Joe! Go away! My body's all water. Yeah, no meat. Just fat. Go away!
plan. Yukon managed some makeshift repairs on these speeders.
Yep, just enough to let us tow this block of ice back to Empire City.
Take me back too!
The Iceberg was delivered to the Empire City Reservoir without further incident, and the water shortage was over. Misdemeanor, Rock Crusher, and Buttons McBoom Boom were sentenced to the cooler, and the cops found a new ally in the war against crime. Cops File 13131, the case of the Iceberg Pirates. Case closed. Cops, roll call. Highway, Mainframe, Long Arm, Bowser and Blitz, Sundown, Hardtop, Mirage, Bullseye, Mace, Barricade, and they call me Bulletproof. These are Empire City's most wanted crooks. Berserko, Rock Crusher, Misdemeanor, Turbo Two-Tone, Dr. Bad Vibes, Nightshade. Use caution in apprehending.
Cookie jar!